Okay, is it just amusing though? Anyway, before I go
That's
into
it,
because I'm
Other
like,
things.
I've also heard of the stories where I'm just going to put this out there, but I've heard of the stories where even working with the cinema is going to say, you know what, this is my feature film, this is my production, and they're like, okay, you know what, this doesn't work at this time, this doesn't. So you have that dictate happening, and people are determining that this is not the kind of movie Nigerians are.
Oh yeah.
But on what premise though? As in, because I worry that the amount of research that we do as it relates to film is not even enough. Yes, we churn out movies, but how do you know that's what people want to watch? That's
Right.
one. Do you understand? So, and then when you have someone dictate and say, you know what, this doesn't work for us, it has to be funny, it has to be comical, it has to be, that's the only way people will come and see it. How do you feel though when you have that kind of, recommendation made on productions that you have worked on?
Oh yeah, like every filmmaker in Nigeria gets that. Like they'll tell you, look, you have to have, like a comedian in the movie, or you have to make it a funny film, and just don't make it too smart. Don't make too, because it's funny because and
That's funny
it's interesting to have this sort of platform, and I appreciate being on this show to talk about stuff like this because Lagosians are listening, Nigerians are listening, and they really need to know that there are people who are telling them, who are deciding the kind of films, the kind of films that they should watch. They are saying that you guys are not smart enough to watch these kind of movies. You guys are not intellectually up there yet. So if you don't know it, realize that there are films that you are not seeing because there are people who have decided for you
that you shouldn't
see it.
Certain movies.
It's happening. That's the reality of it. But what do I think about that situation? I think it's rubbish. I think it's complete nonsense. Because and this is why I think it's nonsense. Yeah, the argument is this: it's a money business, so we all have to make money, and this is like a sure way of making money when you have these elements. And even when you examine those elements that are supposed to be the sure way, you realize that it's only like a few people who have really made money
from doing
those
that
things.
way. Yeah.
So it's not really a sure way. You can't tell me that something that hasn't been explored to the maximum and become sort of like a template is a sure way.
Yeah.
It is not a sure way. Yeah. Just a few people, and even for those few people, you can't replicate that same template for you because you do not have access to what they have. And even if you did have access to what they have, nothing says that one movie will work the same way
another movie will work. Yeah.
And I always find things like this amusing because I'm privileged to be in communication with different people on different levels in the industry.
Yeah.
And I have mad respect for what everybody does. I think there's a space for people to exist in whatever specialties that they feel like they're good at. I think there's space for all that, for the business side of the industry, for the artistic side of the industry. But what makes the industry great, it's when they can all coexist.
Come together. Yeah.
Now, in this scenario where you tell me that because now the CJ or Ferry Obasi, he's the artistic guy.
Okay.
He's the artistic guy. And the funny thing is, being the artistic guy, you're automatically labeled as the guy who doesn't make commercial films. Yeah. And that's rubbish.
Yeah.
That's rubbish because every single film, if you go through the entire world box office, every single film that is regarded as the commercial regarded as the artistic film in the global space.
Yeah.
In the top 100 or the top 150.
Yeah.
They were all commercial
films. Yeah.
So why is it that every time the word artistic is used, it is always equated to it can't make money? Why is that?
Especially in the Nigerian market.
Especially in the Nigerian market, exactly.
Yeah.
So it doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
Artistic doesn't
necessarily mean that it won't make money.
Commercial.
Yeah.
And then they tell you stuff like, he makes movies for the film festivals. Yeah, I make films for the film festivals.
Yeah,
I'm proud of making films for film festivals.
But that's where the appreciation will come.
I love to travel around the world and show my films to people who appreciate the work that I'm putting out. But you know what? The same film festivals, you have people there who are making movies for $1 million, $2 million.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
Are you telling me that the investors who put money in those movies are stupid? You think they're not trying to get their money back?
In fact, I'm fired up with CJ in the studio
like,
right now.
It's silly, like when we put all these boxes, it doesn't make any sense.
So why exactly do we have them? Anyway, I don't want to hug CJ to myself. Like I said, you can call him on 0700-923-923-923 to ask him any questions you want to ask him. Or you can send a WhatsApp message to 081-731-36193. Now, just continuing from there, do you find the process of working with other directors or producers difficult or essential? So because of, as in, way, I'm not saying you found yourself in that space and you know what, you're going to go against all odds and you're going to do it as you feel. But do you find it difficult or it's essential, or do you see it as both?
You mean like collaborations?
Yes.
Well, I love collaborations.
Yeah, but like what we started with, and you were like, okay, we had creative differences. That's yourself and Genevieve Nnaji.
Oh, right. Do you want us to
Lionheart? You know me, I like sauce. So, like...
Well, I'll just put it this way. What happened was, first of all, I think they had a script that was written, I think 2015. I don't know exactly the day. I can't say the day, but it was a script written, the original Lionheart script. Yeah. It was written by two guys, friends of mine, awesome guys, Emil Garuba and Ishai Obako. You probably know him.
Yeah,
they had written the script. Nice script. But because the story is related to an Igbo family, right, there were nuances that were not captured in the story. Right? So I think that at the time they started looking for like somebody who could capture, preferably an Igbo writer, who could capture some of those nuances. Right? And so the guy who was a producer attached to the project at the time was looking for a writer, and a lot of people don't know this, but I'm also a writer. Like I write all my stuff, except I haven't really written extensively for other people. So, but all my stuff I write myself. So he contacted me and asked me if I was interested in working. At the time, I didn't know it was a Genevieve project, but he told me that if I was interested in rewriting this script, and I just felt like it would be interesting material for me to work on. Because especially people don't expect that it would be the kind of thing that I would write. Yeah. Because people always expect he's the OGG guy, he's that guy. But the thing is, because I'm a fan of film and cinema, I would write. I can write anything, and I can really work on anything as long as it appeals to me. And so that whole angle of an Igbo family, an Igbo well-to-do family, who had this business, it just appealed to me. So I felt like it was the kind of material I could jump on, and I did. So when I jumped on it, I wrote a first draft and sent it to them. That's how I realized it was a Genevieve project, because they read it and they liked it. Okay. And there was another director who was attached at the time to the project. You probably know him. Daniel Loria, he was their taxi driver guy, but they had suddenly they decided that I was going to be the director. That they wanted me to be on the project. So the whole idea I was sold on. This is why I took the project, because up until now I've only been directing stuff that comes from my own company, Fiery Film. Yeah. And that's with OJJ, with Old Town. Now, those are the only 2 feature films I've done, because I'm not really interested in doing like 1,000 films. I just want to do good stuff. My gosh, CJ is not holding it back. So go on. So yeah, I mean, so she took the whole idea I was sold on was this is like an Igbo film. We need to show Igbo people in a good light. Culture, we need to I was sold on all those things because like I'm an Igbo guy. I'm waiting for this gist. So anyway, so that happened, and I jumped on the project. I went to Enugu. I decided to film. I decided to do all the pre-production work that a director does, which includes recce, an extensive recce of the entire. Like I went to everywhere you can imagine in Enugu. Started really working on the script because I was going to be the director, so I really wanted the script to be good. And not only that, I would have sit-downs with Genevieve. We would go through the script like every single day, try to break it down, try to take things out and add new elements, things that we felt would make the script really pop. So it was an extensive 2 weeks of writing, recceing. I even did an audition in Enugu, just to pick the secondary cast. It was really an extent. I was a director, on paper. I
had taken the role over.
I had taken the role. I had immersed myself in the role. And then suddenly there was a fallout with production. Don't really know the full details, but all of a sudden, everybody had to go back to Lagos. Everybody had to, for a short period of time, and then we would get back to Enugu and film. When we went back to Lagos, all of a sudden I heard there was a new crew, and Genevieve was the director.
Okay.
So
that feels like not just a slap in your face, but all the work gone to waste.
All the work gone to waste.
No explanation whatsoever.
Till today. I haven't gotten a call, nothing. It's just, that's it.
That's not fair though.
It is what it is. It is what it is.
But we will soldier on.
Yeah.
Literally, we are going to soldier on. So, what are you currently working on?
Okay, right now, earlier this year, I acquired my company, Fiery Film. We acquired the rights to Nnedi Okorafor's short story called Hello Moto. Okay. I don't know if you know Nnedi Okorafor. She's a big deal now. She's one of these. She's a Nigerian American author whose book Who Fears Death is currently being adapted by HBO. With the Game of Thrones writer.
I think I read something about that.
Yeah, yes. So she's the person, and my company acquired the option to one of her stories, and we shot that in August, and I'm in post production for that now. So we're hoping to release early this year. It's a science fiction / magical realism / juju /
oh my God,
everything is a mixture of crazy stuff.
Okay, so like I have my Obina producer looking at me and telling me I have to round up quickly. But just tell us quickly, aside this work, what is the best piece of advice that you've heard, not necessarily given to you directly, but that you've heard and you're like, you know what, I'm going to hold this on and this is going to help me soldier through?
That's a tough one.
That's what Xplore is known for. Asking the tough questions.
Yeah. I would say, but this is what I tell everybody. I think in relation, because this is where I am, so I would say in relation to film, I would say if you don't love film, don't make film. Okay, so that makes it quick, short, sharp. I've had CJ Obasi in the studio with me. I'm sorry I have to round off quickly, but I want to say thank you for coming through. Next week I have the delectable Blessing Egbe in the studio, director of Lucky Wives and Women. She will be in the studio next week, so you can keep it locked on 92.3 Inspiration FM. For this interview and many more interviews, Xplore Nollywood is on YouTube. You can check out my channel to catch up, or you can follow me on all my social media platforms, including Facebook. Xplore Nollywood starts with an X, Xplore Nollywood. So till I come your way next week, you guys should have a wonderful rest of the weekend and keep it locked to 92.3 Inspiration FM. Obina, I'm going to fight you. Oh my God.